Let me also now bring in our guest to take this conversation forward. We have political analyst PKD Nambiar. We also have lawyer and political analyst Kapil Madan. Good to have both of you on the broadcast with us. Kapil, let me begin the conversation with you. I'm sure you've also seen the videos that have been tweeted by various top epidemiologists showing us what is happening in China. Top epidemiologists are saying that almost 60% of China's population possibly can be wiped out. They're saying that there are cremations taking place 24/7. There's also a 30-day wait period in Beijing. And as we've been saying this since yesterday, what we've learned from 2020 is that whatever happens in China, unfortunately, doesn't stay in China. So what is the harm then if India is already better prepared? If you are having a yatra at such a grand scale where you do have thousands of people joining you, shouldn't we be better prepared?
See, there is, absolutely no denying to the fact that one should be prepared for any kind of exigencies. And, this is precisely for this reason you have an Epidemic Diseases Act. Now, it is incumbent of the government to form guidelines, to form a set of protocol that needs to be followed. Now, now one cannot be expected to, do something which, on which there is no clarity. Right now, the Epidemic Diseases Act, you may recall when, the COVID wave was happening, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, the Disaster Management Authority used to create a protocol, what can be done, what cannot be done, how many people can gather, how many people can work in the office, what could be the occupancy, and, so on and so forth. Now, you want to put a cart before the horse. Now, I would like to just give an example where, during the second wave, we saw Prime Minister Modi continuously appearing in public without wearing mask. And you may also recall in West Bengal, he had one rally after the other, while at the same time keeping the emergent situation back then. It was, this party decided that they won't be, holding rallies there. I think similar thing happened, when the UP elections were happening. They were the first, Congress party was the first to drop all their rallies in the election campaign. So the point is that the opposition wants to follow the law in letter and in the spirit. But at the same time, the criticism of, the Bharat Jodo Yatra appears to be more, of a, political overtones there, because one thing is clear that
Kapil, so I gave you a fair chance to make your point. What essentially I'm trying to understand is you gave the example of what we did during the first wave and the second wave, but at that time the knowledge was little. We were still developing the technology. 3 years down the line, we already know the kind of things that we can expect. We do know this is a virus that mutates. We do know that it has a very unpredictable pattern and a very unpredictable cycle. Doesn't the responsibility fall on us now?
So I agree with you. I totally agree with you that, we've learned how this virus mutates, and we saw in the first wave. And let me also, remind your viewers that it was Prime Minister Modi who declared victory over COVID. And soon thereafter, we had a, COVID second wave. And, the COVID second wave, everyone knows was
that is unfair, Kapil. One, obviously, politicizing a pandemic itself is unfortunate. And to say that India did not actually do well as far as containing the pandemic, that's also very unfair. If the opposition has a right to, hold debates, then they also should be in a position to, compliment the ruling government when they do something right. But let me bring in PKD also in the conversation.
I still want to say something on the COVID. Can we deny the fact that the people, could not get oxygen and, people died, without getting any medical treatment? Can we today deny this fact? Everyone, each one of us, we can do a self-introspection. Everyone has lost someone, close.
Maybe, and can we also deny the fact that India was one of those countries that managed to contain it because of the strict lockdowns that we had, the vaccine policy that was rolled out? We actually became one of the countries that was sending out vaccines to other countries. But that's a completely different topic. Let me bring PKD back in the conversation, try and understand what's happening as far as the Bharat Jodo Yatra is concerned. Now, fair criticism coming in from the Congress. They're saying that look at the Prime Minister, he also did rallies. There were no protocols that were followed. Even if you look at the recently concluded elections, you had the full machinery of the BJP on the ground. So why is it that only COVID protocols need to be followed by the Congress party?
I think, Ridhima, we are missing the real context of this whole discussion and this advisory. This is, as Kapil was also talking about, this is a health advisory. This is something like a very dynamic situation where we are learning. We are talking about China and what is happening in China. China is not a country wherein we get to know things. Nobody knows what's happening in China or in North Korea unless and until there is some kind of a satellite, some kind of an image just get it. It's not a democracy like us wherein there is a 24/7 live coverage of the mortuaries and the hospitals. So I think we need to look at this in a very, very sensitive way. The government, it's not only just the union government, even the state governments do have some kind of a knowledge by now how to handle a situation. We, as Kapil said, I agree with him that there was a situation wherein, irrespective of who was ruling in the particular state, were having major challenges. But we also today, the whole world is looking at us, and let us be proud of the fact that despite that we are a 1.4 billion people country, we were not having that kind of a health facilities and infrastructure. We managed and we pulled it off much better than the most advanced countries,
that discussion is done,
including the
PKD.
US.
I'm only asking you, as far as the Bharat Jodo Yatra is concerned, the Congress is saying that how come when the BJP hits the ground and has multiple rallies, nobody questions them about the protocols, and when the Congress carries out a Bharat Jodo Yatra, everybody is in up in arms. But I'll just request both of you to stay on with us.